Hello there, everybody. This is Alex from Hardcoring Guides, being my guide for God Hand and Hard difficulty. Today we're doing Stage 7-1 entitled The Tower Mirage. And we finally made it, folks. We finally made it to the close to last finale of God Hand. Basically, what I consider the hardest parts of the game, even though like a couple levels are really not that bad. But at the same time, they do have a couple levels that are just extremely painful. Now, I went into this level from the last level, of course, technically from the last stage, with not full God Hand bar, and I did upgrade my health. I'm pretty sure I upgraded like my TP bar. Either way, I only came in here with 2 orbs, which is fine, and I came in here with little to not enough God Hand. I need full God Hand, and the reason being is because we're going to be fighting Dr. Ion again. He is going to be your specific boss. In my opinion, he's a lot easier to take on in comparison to what he was before. However, there's a strict pattern you kind of have to follow, and if you're like me and you get super unlucky, you can still kind of follow through and get him down. However, every time I would fight Dr. Ion, I would end up having a pretty good pattern of combo stuff going, and because like I'm trying to phase shift him, I'm trying to force him to phase shift. I'm trying to get him to, you know, get out of phase 2 or whatever phase he's in that I want him to get out of, because in my opinion, phase 2 is arguably the hardest of the phases. Now, real fast, you're going to have a lot of these enemies just kind of spawning around the field, and take them out as you see fit, but I really wouldn't worry about them too much. And if you're going to go take on Dr. Ion first, like if you've been playing this level like a lot and you're like, I just want to get Dr. Ion out of the way, just go ahead and build up your God Hand to your fullest. If you're playing that way, of course. If you're playing not KMS. But if you're playing KMS, I don't know why you're watching me for. Outside, like, for advice. Now, of course, unfortunately, I do get a demon spawn. It happens. It seems to... I don't think it's set, though. There's, like, a couple times where I've gotten... Where I've had a couple times where he didn't really spawn in, like, for anybody. But at the same time, I feel like there's still a chance that at least one person around this field could probably get him. Now, we'll talk about this in a second. More specifically when I'm going to fight Dr. Ion. But I did fight a Cobra type enemy, and I did make him drop his weapon, and that's going to come in handy when I get to there. Now, if you wanted to, even after saving all that God Hand, if you really wanted to, you can rebuild it up and just use the God Hand now on this guy, and, you know, get rid of whatever demon you're going to have to get rid of. I had one time, guys, like, unironically, there's a little tunnel, like, behind me that you can go to that has like a bunch of enemies and they're kind of blocking some treasure. We'll go there later. So, I had them spawn, I don't know why I like to call it a level 4 demon. I have no idea where that name comes from. They spawned the Trident demon, and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I think that was the same one where I had a orange one and a blue one spawn. The Trident one, I think. Which, now that I think about it, okay, that probably didn't happen, but I think it was like maybe one after the other. I was like, ah, great. Like I did one run, and then I screwed it up, and then I had him spawn, and so forth and so forth. Either way, I took out the demon with using no God Hand, which is actually pretty good, because I need full God, just to have full God Hand for this fight, and you'll see why. Now, I'm carrying the weapon into the fight with me, because I want to get at least a small chip of damage. I throw it instantly, and here's where the problem occurs. So, I need him to be in... Why did I dodge? That's a force I have, but I'm in God Hand. I'm invincible. The problem is, I need him to not be in second phase, because then I have to do this. Because I had to run over to him, I had to waste my God Hand, and now I have to pummel him, and basically try to get him down into stun. Now, of course, since he's just like Dr. Ion was before, his dodges are basically the same. And the way that I have them mapped out is essentially... Oh, by the way, he'll do that double hit thing way more often in Chapter 7 or in Stage 7 than he would before. So, the way that it's laid out is basically the first phase is you're going to want to back dodge everything. Second phase is side dodge. And then last phase, let him back up and let him just shoot the rockets and then go and just up dodge. So, you're pretty much using all your dodges. And basically, the thing I'm trying to do, like I said, is I'm trying to break him away from the phase 2 because, well, in my opinion, that's the one I have a harder time dodging. If you want to use the first phase as that, go ahead. I would recommend keeping the third phase around, just so you can build up a little bit more God Hand with it. This, once again, this is just a timed maneuver thing. You have to, like, You have to, like, back dodge, wait. It's really annoying, but it's possible to do it. And yeah, pretty much I'm trying not to... there's like a whole bunch of different things going on at once in my head, where it's like, I'm trying to get him stunned, but not stunned to the point where he just kind of not gives me more God Hand back from it. Like, I'm trying to build up God Hand. I'm trying to pay attention to that pattern of trying to get God Hand back. And that's where Chain Yanker kind of came in handy, is because I need that in order to build it back up. I could just taunt him. I could just beat him up like normal because, you know, after a while, you do kind of get used to these fights. But even then, I'd rather just try my best to build up God Hand as fast as I can possibly muster, and then get him at least into a pummel state when I'm out of God Hand. That is very specific thing I'm trying to do, is I never want to beat down a boss in pummel state if I'm actively in God Hand. Not because, because when you're in God Hand, you do more damage, which is great. However, the trade-off is, instead of doing damage, I can gain my TP back. I can gain my tension back, right? So that way, in like a stage later or whatever, I can start building up God Hand again, and that's where Dr. Ion's whole pattern thing kind of comes into play, is I'm trying to get... Like, at the very beginning, I'll try to activate God Hand to take out the first phase, if anything. Or at the very least, let him pop into second phase, and hopefully use God Hand to its fullest extent, get him in the pummel state, let it deactivate, and then from there, go ahead and just, you know, pummel him down, get my tension back, and then have a second wave of God Hand, because I do have enough bar to obviously have 2 God Hands, right? Or, more specifically, 2 uses of God Hand. These guys, once again, you can kind of bully them a little bit. They're a little bit more annoying because they like to burrow on the ground and attack you that way. But for what it's worth, you can bully them by just kicking them into walls and stuff. So they're really not that bad. And then especially after the Dr. Ion fight, like, you've got nothing to worry about now. Except for, like, you know, randomly getting hit or something like that. Or having to deal with just enemy spawns. They're not random, I don't think. But at the same time, it's still, for me, not really worth it. By the way, that chest, I think, is set. I think you get Zen Revival every single time. So if you need it, go ahead and get it. But that's like a 2-orb cost, or 3-orb, right? Something like that. Either way, not for me. It's not not my cup of tea. Oh, yeah. Use the weapon on the pillars to destroy it, and that's why why I threw the weapon at Dr. Ion specifically, so that way I can just get the max damage that I can possibly get off on him. Now, real quick, before you take this portal, make sure that you've done just about everything you want to do here. Make sure you have, at the very least, full God Hand. I don't care if you got full orbs or whatever. I'm just saying that try your best to go in here with full God Hand. And with these cannonballers, you can easily get, you know, like up dodge for a bit. You don't have to do it all the way, but just up dodge for a bit, you know, and then just go beat them up a little bit, and then, you know, stinger and that kind of thing, and taunt them while they're in the stun state or whatever. I think right now I'm just trying to grind and see if I can potentially get my chance to get another orb. This is something else you can technically do too, but I would say just go for a charged punch. It just saves you more trouble. And of course, you know, there you go. There it was. I wasn't even kidding. There actually was an orange and blue one that spawns in the same fight. Well, anyway, that's it for this. So see you guys next time.